When you hear the word firewall, your first instinct might be to think of something intense, maybe even dangerous, like a wall designed to stop fire from spreading in a burning building. And interestingly, that's exactly where the term comes from. In today's digital world, a firewall doesn't stop flames. It blocks invisible data threats across networks, acting as a gatekeeper between trusted and untrusted connections. So why is it called a firewall? Let's dive right into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. To understand why it's called a firewall, we have to look back before computers existed. In traditional architecture, especially in the 19th and early 20th centuries, a firewall was a physical wall made of fire-resistant materials like brick or stone. Its purpose was to stop fires from spreading between parts of a building, acting as a barrier that could slow or contain damage, something especially important in crowded cities and industrial areas. As industrial technology advanced, so did the complexity of buildings. Engineers and architects began incorporating firewalls into the design of vehicles, ships, and even early aircraft. For example, in cars, a firewall is the barrier between the engine and the passenger cabin. If the engine catches fire, it protects those inside. Long before computers, it already meant protection and separation from danger. Fast forward to the late 20th century, when computers started becoming more connected. As the internet began expanding in the 1980s and 1990s, so did the risks associated with it. Networks that were once isolated suddenly found themselves exposed to external systems, and with that exposure came a new kind of danger: unauthorized access, data theft, viruses, and malicious attacks. Early computer engineers needed a way to protect internal networks from external threats. They needed a barrier that could decide what to allow in and what to block. That's when the architectural metaphor fit perfectly. Just as a physical firewall stops fire from spreading, a digital firewall protects systems from spreading cyber fires, like harmful data and malicious traffic. The term firewall was officially adopted in computing in the late 1980s. Early cybersecurity researchers developed it through packet filtering, where internet data is broken into small units called packets. These packets carry information about their origin, destination, and content. Engineers realized they could inspect them and decide whether to allow or block them, forming the foundation of modern firewalls. In cybersecurity, fire represents fast-spreading threats like malware, hackers, and cyberattacks. And a firewall is a defense system designed to stop these digital fires before they cause damage. As technology evolved, firewalls grew from simple packet filtering systems that followed basic rules into more advanced tools, since early versions were limited and eventually bypassed. Stateful inspection firewalls came next, tracking active connections to determine whether traffic was part of a legitimate exchange or a potential threat, a major leap that made security decisions far smarter. Today, next-generation firewalls go further, analyzing traffic, identifying apps, and blocking threats in real time, sometimes using AI. Yet the name still fits, as they contain and control threats rather than eliminate them entirely. What makes the term even more interesting is how naturally it connects two completely different worlds: physical safety and digital security. It's a reminder that many ideas in technology are inspired by real-world systems. Engineers often borrow concepts from nature, architecture, and everyday life to explain complex digital processes. The firewall is one of the best examples of this kind of cross-world thinking. In fact, the idea of barriers for protection is a recurring theme in cybersecurity. We see similar concepts in antivirus software, encryption systems, and intrusion detection systems, but the firewall remains the first line of defense. It's like a security guard standing at the entrance of a building, checking IDs, deciding who gets in, and blocking suspicious activity before it even reaches the inside. Today, firewalls are everywhere, often working silently whenever you connect to Wi-Fi, use mobile data, or access a network. They monitor traffic, enforce rules, and protect devices from threats without being noticed. Large organizations like banks, government agencies, hospitals, and tech companies rely heavily on them to secure sensitive data. Without firewalls, the internet would be far more dangerous and chaotic. Interestingly, the evolution of firewalls also reflects how our understanding of security has changed. In the early days of computing, security was mostly about keeping things out. But now it's also about monitoring behavior, detecting anomalies, and responding to threats in real time. Firewalls have grown from simple barriers into intelligent guardians of digital space. So when you ask why is it called a firewall, the answer is actually rooted in both history and metaphor. It's called a firewall because it behaves like one, just in a digital environment instead of a physical one. It stands between safety and danger, controlling what passes through and protecting what lies behind it. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.